So there's the E shape that you know and love. We're going to play an E major chord, but use a D shape. Now I find the easiest way to get there is, it's just to move up. There's the third, and I move up a minor third there, and I get to that shape there. But another way you could do it is you could think, well, chords move like notes. There's a D. If I move it up a whole step, it becomes an E. So that's another way to look at it, yeah? So if I take that E there, then that puts me nice and easy in that position there. Now, I know that that's my root note there, and I could play the C-shaped octave to help me to see where the A shape is there. Can you see the A shape? So, use that third finger to get me there. And I could use that to guide myself. If I'm playing it as lead, then we want to target specific notes. Now, if we're trying to end a phrase, then like I say, this is the importance of knowing the fifth, the root, and the third. The fifth is transparent. It's a good sort of meandering note, yeah? So if you go like here, it doesn't really go anywhere. It's not saying much. What would be useful is if I had an E major chord to go underneath, which I just so happen to have. So you can have a listen to this here, guys. I'll take it really slow. I'm on this one. I'm going to use that G string to get up to the A shape now. And I'm on the root note there, fifth, root, third. If I target that third, can you hear there's a bit of tension in that? Listen. If I move to the root, it sounds level with the chord. If I move it to the fifth, yeah, 5R3. Remember, 12th fret, everything's just a repeat. So just use the same pattern up here so you can play that all the way through this, okay? Put that on. Got all those notes there. That's on the E chord. And it's the E chord there. So all I'm doing is I'm following those three. So those three shapes there and link it there. What happens if I do an A major chord? Then what I can do is I can use the same three shapes. 5R3 here, look. Okay. There's the E shape. Right. Yeah, we've got all that there. Yeah, we can move. Right up with the dusty end of the neck here. So that's the A chord. This is a B chord, following the same thing. Using an A shape. 5R3. But look. Root note. Sounds home. Hopefully this makes sense, guys. These three chord shapes, we can move them around. Now, I haven't got a minor chord in here, and I should have a minor chord in there, but if it wasn't a minor chord, then I would do the same thing there. And and link those guys up as well. So you're just looking for those as hotspots and then joining them up. And you can conveniently carry certain notes over. Now, going back to page 61, if we know which chord it is that we're playing on, let's just assume this is chord 1 and it's major. Now we can use this shape here to launch a scale from if we wanted to. But I suppose that's moving away from chord tone soloing, but you're using the chords as north stars to base your scale patterns on. So I could play the major scale now reliably. I know I'm in my E major here. Let me just outline this again because I think it's really important. I know I'm doing it here in E. And I want you to see that it's a completely usable thing in every key. And it just highlights the way that you don't need to learn loads of different patterns in different positions, as long as you can associate them with the chord shape. So look, root, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. Back to root again. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Now what happens if I want that in G? Then I follow the same pattern, guys. Yeah? 5R3. Take the root. Now I can. Still play it with my 7th chord there. And it makes a bit more sense. So it gives me a lot of scope here. Any key. This is B flat. So you go like this, you go 5R3. There's the root. 5R3. So really it's just an exercise about moving these things around. Let's pick a chord. Let's use a B because I have a B major here. Okay, there's a B major chord. But the shape is telling me where to start. So that's the A shape. Now if I go, I could also play it on the 5R3 on the E shape, look. Now this works because I'm leveraging the power of string pairs, which is a lesson in the book. Go back to an E. It's the My Girl riff. Use that as a tonal reference. Yeah. So all I need to do is just follow that. But I'm not reliant on looking at the E string for the starting note from a pattern, because that's what most people would do. They'd go, all right, this is an E. Yeah, like that. Or if it was in E major. There. We'd do something like that. But we don't want to do that because it's not really that musical, and we're chunking it down. Yeah, look at the D chord here. 5R3. I'm looking at the root. Yeah, so basing it off there. Here's the A shape. 5R3. There's the root, there's the leg, and there's the rectangle, which is now actually a rhomboid. So you you end up with these different positions that you can. It's an E major pentatonic, yeah. But what I can do is I can add that. I can add the minor third and have two thirds in there, minor third and the major third. Root, second, flat third, major third. But if we just pass through it, then it kind of loses a bit of its glamour. So instead of going, personally I like to use it as a little grace note. I just crush it up and okay, let's change the chord. Let's put this B on again. You see that? Just outlining the chord. Yeah, that was a B major. Let me put it here. As well. Got the open position there because that's a B.